try to teach things that I wish someone would have taught me. When I think about playing, okay, what is it that I wish someone would have helped me avoid? Okay, I just spent so much time getting off my throne, getting down there, tightening up springs, pulling the beater back, making sure the linkage is tight, trying out new pedals. It's way more valuable to put in the practice time and stop worrying about all the details than it is to worry about the details and the gear. Gear is important. It will take you over the edge. I mean, when you're playing fast, it's a game of inches. It really is. But the most important element is the practice. It just so happens that that's the hardest thing to do. It's not the most fun. If you're willing to put in the work, most people aren't willing to. So the pool of people that are around you in that 1% or 2% of people that are willing to work hard, there's not a lot of people in that game. So if you're willing to put in the work and actually invest yourself, close the door, turn off your phone, turn off your camera, stop thinking about social media and what people think, and actually sweat it out, it's gonna take you a lot further than worrying about all the different things, whether it be gear or if people like you or not. I started playing piano and I was homeschooled, so piano was like, no question, you're gonna play piano. First the recorder, then piano. On the dashboard of my mom's car, I was just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm like, I distinctly remember this. I'm like, why am I not starting and ending on the same finger? I have 5 digits. What I didn't realize was I was playing a polyrhythm. I turned to my mom, I was like, I want to play drums. And she's like, okay. I bought a drum set with huge toms and I had to bank them because when your toms are big and your kick's big, they're up here. So it's just like Lars Ulrich, you know, playing the wall of toms. Single kick pedal, loved it. Hi-hat, kick and snare. Couldn't figure out how to get over to my ride. Seemed like 3 miles away, so I just hung out over here. So I grew up on a farm, and August Burns Red, which is the band I play for, started in my parents' basement, but pretty quickly got bumped out to the farm. Loud metalcore. It's like, we got a barn out there, go play. And so once I bought a house in 2009, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go play in my house now, and build a studio over COVID. And now my wife and I have a 2-month-old in the house, not especially conducive to playing at home, so back to the barn. I don't know if everybody's like this, but for me, this instrument, this thing I get to do is by far the hardest thing I've ever done. And farming for me is maybe like mowing your yard. It's easy, you get to use your hands and kind of turn your brain off. I love it. One of the hardest things, honestly, is sitting back and relaxing. And my recommendation for someone that's going into the studio or playing live is try to just breathe and relax, and don't think of your drum set as being this thing that's 10 feet in the air with a spotlight on it and everybody's looking at you. They're not. Some people are, but there's a whole band that's performing, or in the case of a studio, they're not as concerned about your performance as you are. And so just relax. You're gonna play better relaxed, you're gonna play better laid back, and honestly, that's something I'm always trying to work on. It's hard for me, it's hard to do. But as far as the gear is concerned, I play DW Collector Series drums. I play Zildjian cymbals, I play Firth sticks and Evans heads. I've been with DW for 10 years. Coincidentally, we're on our 10-year anniversary tour, so it's kind of cool how they coincide. I use G2 Clear heads on top, which I find are just pretty easy to tune, pretty straight ahead. I use the coated heavyweight snare head and the EMAD 2 kick drum head. My favorite cymbal is my Zildjian blast bell, which was released last year. It's a cymbal that I drove up to Norwell, Massachusetts in search of. I was trying to find a darker sounding. If you think of the Zil bell as an A, the blast bell's a K. Darker, it doesn't ring quite as long. And that's my favorite cymbal. On my kit, I have it on my ride. I use the Oriental series for cymbals for the effects stuff. Splash, Mini China, Big China. I use the A Custom crashes, A Custom Master Sound hats, and blast bell on my right, and prototype 9-inch bell on my left. Sticks, I have a signature stick, but I've been using the 3A recently. I really like the weight on the front end. Pedals, I use the 9000 XFs. I like the extended footboard. I find I can sit back more and float. One of the things I try to keep in mind when I'm playing double bass is Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. One day I was getting on stage and I just had this line pop in my head. And it aligns really well with playing double bass. If you're having a hard time with double bass, think of your feet as floating when you're playing the fast stuff, and the slower stuff where you're using more hip flexor, that's your sting. I'm trying to keep all that stuff top of mind when I'm playing. How we got good at our instruments is by writing material we couldn't play and practicing it until we could. Because we had a pressure point, like an upcoming show, studio, whatever it might be, and you don't want to look like an idiot when you get to that pressure point, to that timeline, so you're gonna practice until you get the part down. I feel fortunate to be in a band with the guys that I play with. It takes a special person in a band, I think, even if it's just one, to drive it, to lead it, to stay committed to it, to stay consistently focused on writing music, on touring, and not get too distracted by everything else happening. Because see the thing is, when you're young, you don't have a lot of responsibilities, so you can put all your energy into it. And if you're young and you're watching this, you're thinking, well, yeah, I mean, this is all I want to do. But you have to understand, as you get older, you're going to be more invested in other things. And if you can find guys to play with that are equally or more invested in the music, it's a huge part of the recipe. Someone like Aaron Spears, who passed away recently, he had a big influence on my life because, well, a lot of reasons, but he was the kind of person that would always lift other people up. He'd be in the back of the room watching you play drums and would be the first person to stand up and applause and be the last person to tell you who he was and what he did. And that left a lasting impact on me, and I think if we can all be more like that as drummers and as musicians, it would go a long way to not worry so much about what people think of us, but actually turn our eyes out and go, okay, I want to lift other people up around me along the way. It just makes for a better industry. It makes for a better world, honestly. If you're young, if you're a teenager in your 20s, take risks. Try everything. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're not good enough to do it. It doesn't matter if you think you're too good. Just try stuff. You can afford to take the hit. If it doesn't work out, you're young enough and you should try it.